Right now, Gauteng Premier Panyaza Lesufi has set aside 1.2 billion rand to tackle the energy crisis. During his State of the Province address yesterday, Lesufi announced that developers will be appointed to build a solar farm in Merafong. Now, Lesufi says solar panels will be installed on government buildings, especially healthcare facilities and schools. The Premier has laid out his priorities for Gauteng. But how has his message been received by residents here? Well, our senior reporter Aviwe Mtila is out and about finding out from these residents. Aviwe, who are you speaking to now and how did they receive the State of the Province address?
Maseko, I'm speaking to the Johannesburg Chamber of Commerce now, of course, that represents at least 2,000 businesses in and around Johannesburg. They, of course, were already pinning their hopes on the budget speech that it will bring that energy security. But we heard the State of the Province address last night. A lot of promises made there by Premier Panyaza Lesufi. 1.2 billion rand to be given towards the energy crisis. Also, the building of that solar farm, 800 megawatt, with 6 developers that are to be appointed to develop that farm. I just want to touch now with Bernadette Zayla from the JCC. Thank you for joining us at eNCA. I'm sure you heard the promises made on the State of the Province address. Are they enough to deal with the energy crisis in and around Gauteng?
Thank you so much to be part of the program today. Yes, we appreciate the initiative and the incentive, but businesses, we require a larger amount, and also many businesses have had to close down due to the energy crisis, especially smaller businesses in the manufacturing sector as well, because they weren't able to invest in solar or in generators. They didn't have the financial capacity.
When you speak of a larger amount, are you talking to that 1.2 billion rand that will be dedicated toward the energy crisis, or maybe do expand on this larger amount?
We're looking at a minimum of 4 to 5 billion rand to assist businesses during this energy crisis.
And then, of course, the other interventions mentioned by the Premier is around the government buildings that will be prioritized in giving solar rooftops, for example, your hospitals, clinics and schools. As business, what's your sentiment around this?
I think major focus should also be placed on business, because businesses, they contribute to boosting the economy and also creating employment as well. So businesses should also gain quite a concession in this area as well.
Okay, just to give the Premier maybe an idea of how business has been faring, especially now we're on stage 6 load shedding. How has your membership been like? I know you have around 2,000 businesses. How's it been in recent times?
Well, several of our members are in the manufacturing cycle, and it's really affected their production facility, where they start the production cycle and then they've had to, because of load shedding, end it, and then they would have to recommence the cycle. So it really has affected businesses, especially in the manufacturing sector as well.
Okay, and what would you say then to the Premier in addition to the plans that are already mentioned in the State of the Province address last night?
To make allowance and concession for additional 4 to 5 billion rand to assist businesses in this energy crisis.
Okay, and then maybe also touching on other areas that were touched on in the SOPA last night. Crime was a big focus there, with the mention of course, of all the residents given panic buttons to press whenever they are in need, and that addition, 6,000 boots on the ground. Your sentiments and how business has been faring around the crime levels in Gauteng?
Yes, this is also quite an important factor. The JCCI, we host and facilitate international delegations, and that's one of our key focus areas. And one of the main questions that we are asked is around the security factors. So I think if our international delegations and the international community can be assured of their safety during their travels to Johannesburg, and also several other delegations are looking to invest in Johannesburg. So safety is a very key area as well.
And are you happy with the measures then mentioned by the Premier around security and the crime safety?
Yes, we appreciate those measures, and it will assist definitely, and we do appreciate those measures.
All right.
And I think if additional measures could also be adopted to ensure that international delegations and of all citizens, their safety is assured.
All right, thank you very much, Benedict. Zayla there from the Johannesburg Chamber of Commerce, housing, of course, around 2,000 businesses in Johannesburg. They've had it tough during the ongoing space of load shedding. We're currently on stage 6 now. Measures that have been mentioned there by the Premier, they say they are not enough. From that 1.2 billion rand that's dedicated towards energy, they want an additional at least 3 billion to make it some 4.5 billion rand, at least to tackle the energy crisis, as, of course, a number of small businesses have really had it tough.
All right, senior reporter Aviwe Mtila live for us in Johannesburg. Let's leave it there for now. Did you see Aviwe's view? It's got the skyline of Johannesburg. I only wish that, as beautiful as that skyline looked, it's as beautiful as the city looked when you go inside it.